Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Salutation and citations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth in truth and in sincerity and in charity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To you I say Shalom, to the Akim and to the Akwath, that'll be you brothers and sisters, Adawan Ratazah, that is to say, Lord willing. Hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be edified. This is your brother Amawan Ibai from the GMS Miami camp, back again with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, to feed the lambs of Yahweh, Yahawashi, as commanded. This lesson is going to be entitled Uproars of the People. All right? Once again, title of this lesson is Uproars of the People. All right? Now, that's the sentiment that's in the air, man. All right? Yeah, it's been a mass protest, all right, in Nepal, all right, even here in America, man, all right, the daughter of Babylon, okay, you have protests that's been going on in Washington, all right, different cities, all right, Chicago, all right, and the scripture speaks about these things in the last days, that you're going to see, uproars of the people. Okay, now they just recently had in Nepal, all right, a protest, all right, that was a mass protest, all right, which turned deadly. And it says it was over a social media ban and corruption. Okay? And then here in the daughter of Babylon, aka America, they have protests about, immigration and certain states not wanting troops to come into their state. Okay? But these are the days, man. We live in end times. Okay, so I got an article here. I'm going to actually read the scripture real quick and see if I could get through some of this article. This lesson is not going to be a long lesson. I have a short time on my hand on my lunch break. But let's read real quick. 2nd Ezra verse 9, chapter 9, Salaki verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So this is how we know when you measure the time according to the tokens and the sign that the Lord left for us to know what time we're in. This is how we know we're close. Okay, because we see an uproar to the people, which these things are spoken of in the scriptures. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes, which we've been seeing a lot of those, and uproars of the people in the world. Okay, uproars in the people, uproars, all right, of the people in the world. Okay, this is a worldwide thing, man. We've been seeing uproars of the people over the last few years. The yellow vests, okay, over there in France and different parts of the world, England. We've been seeing these things, man. Okay, verse 4, it says, Then shalt thou well understand that it is that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. We in the end times. All right, 2 Timothy 3 and 1. And this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, meaning dangerous times. All right. So it says, verse 6. It says, Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs, man. All right? You're going to see the signs if you have eyes to see. And you're going to see the effects that it's going to have on the world, all right? Because it's prophecy that you would see certain things, uproars of the people, earthquakes in diverse places, wars and rumors of wars. Okay? Matthew 24 chapter. That's what Yahushua spake of, the wars and rumors of wars. All right? You have what's going on you know, in Gaza, okay, Israel, Iran, okay, America, Iran, okay, right now Venezuela, you know what I'm saying? America, it's just war, rumors of wars. All right, Russia, Ukraine, okay. So we in those end times, man. But let me try to see if I can get through a little piece of this article with what happened with the Napoleon Prime Minister, okay. So I don't own this article, neither do I have the right to this article. All right, I'm not profiting from this. All right, this is just for educational purposes. So, quick disclaimer: fair use. All right, Copyright Act of 1976, under Section 107, let's give way for commentary, criticism, things of that nature. All right. This is not for monetary gain, and I'm not profiting from this. This is just for educational purposes. This is an article here from NBC News. It says, Napoli army moves to restore order after protests. All right, violence intensifies. So you had this prime minister, he resigned. Okay, this prime minister resigned. Okay, it says Nepal's prime minister resigned after days of deadly mass protests over social media ban and corruption. All right, so this guy had to resign, man. The prime minister of Nepal. Okay, now let's see if I can get a little bit of article here. All right, once again, Copyright Act of 1976, fair use. It says Nepalese armies move to restore order after protest violence intensifies. Okay. It says Kathmandu, Nepal. Nepalese soldiers guarded the streets of the country's capital on Wednesday and ordered people to stay at home as they moved to restore order after tens of thousands of protesters stormed and set fire to government buildings and attacked politicians. Wow, see that? It's the time we're in. All right, the scriptures say in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. That's written in the scriptures, man. See, this is the time we're in the last days. It says armed troops guarded the main areas of Kathmandu, appeared to give some sense of control, returning to the city that was engulfed in violence and chaos in the previous days. Soldiers told residents about the curfew in place as they checked vehicles and people. It says the army had warned late Tuesday that security forces were committed to preserving law and order. The military is rarely mobilized in Nepal and had initially stayed in the barracks as police failed to control the situation. An army statement said 27 suspected looters have been arrested. Okay, so over there in Nepal, that's a country that's north of India and Bangladesh. Okay, reading on, it says earlier on Tuesday, the protests had grown increasingly violent as demonstrators set fire to government buildings and politicians' homes and attacked some leaders. Wow, you see that? It says criticism of the country's political elite widened. The prime minister resigned, though it appeared to have little effect on the unrest. The prime minister had to resign. You see that? It says the prime minister resigned, though it appeared to have little effect on the unrest. At that point, they didn't care. They didn't regard their princes. Let me see if I can get that scripture, because I'm not going to be able to read the rest of this. All right, my time. I don't got much more time to read, but I'll see if I can get that scripture. So clearly, you can see we're in that time where the scripture speaks about uproars of the people, man. Okay, now what's that? 2 Ezra chapter 16. Let me 16 round about 6 69, 70. Bear with me. I think it's 15, where it speaks about they should not regard their, because that's what happens. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse verse 16, straight to the point. For time's sake, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes." That's what happened in Nepal, man. Those people lost it. Okay, it's over some social media ban and corruption. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Now you see, that's how you know the faithful word of the Lord. All right, the spoken word of the Lord is faithful and true, man, because we seeing these things happen right before our eyes. Uproars of the people. All right, so I'm off to end this video. All right, a little bit sooner than I thought. Okay, I'm Lord willing. All right, I get to do another one. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Giving all honor, glory, praises, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. That be honest to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Salutations and salutations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth in truth and in sincerity and in charity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Lord willing, you will edify until the next time. Shalom.